A very warm welcome to this video, which is on the subject of Jacob's ladder. What is its symbolism? The biblical account of Jacob's ladder appears in Genesis chapter 28, verses 10 to 22. Fleeing his brother Esau, Jacob rests at a place called Luz. Why he had to flee his brother? Because deceptively he has stolen the birthright from his father. And in this particular flight, he takes rest at this place and he dreams of a ladder, a stairway reaching from earth to heaven. And there he sees angels ascend and descend on it, while God stands above, renewing the covenant promises to Abraham and Isaac, abundant descendants, land possessions, blessings for all nations. Awestruck, Jacob calls this place the house of God and the gate of heaven, renaming it Bethel, which means house of God in Hebrew. In Christian theology, this vision reveals a fundamental structure of reality, a vertical link uniting heaven and earth. While the horizontal dimension is rooted in destruction and ultimate dissolution, the vertical dimension is a spirit dimension which raises up to heaven. This you can see again in Exodus, where Moses hoists the brass serpent on a pole and people are given life. What is the core symbolism of Jacob's ladder? It can be seen as a bridge between heaven and earth. The ladder shows God's initiative in closing the divide between the divine transcendent and the humanity. God descends with revelation and promise. Angels mediate ongoing communication and cosmic harmony. This portrays a God who seeks intimacy even with flawed fugitive like Jacob. The vertical axis of reality is something which needs to be taken seriously into consideration. Because at the time these sacred texts were written, Genesis, Exodus, and other texts were written, the cosmology was practically rooted in a horizontal dimension. Earth was the center of the universe. But here in dream and in visions, we come to a vertical reality, which is supposed to be the ultimate spiritual reality to which everyone has to ascend. The cosmos is hierarchically ordered, not flat or neutral. Heaven encompasses and infuses earth. Ascent brings deeper inclusion and participation in the whole, countering modern tendencies to reduce transcendence to mere absence or irrelevance. Matching this particular symbolism to the New Testament and the life of Christ, Christ can be seen as the fulfillment. Jesus directly claims the imagery in John 1:51, promising Nathanael that angels will ascend and descend on the Son of Man. Church fathers and theologians see the ladder as a prefiguration of Christ. In this prefiguration and fulfillment, we have in the incarnation, God descends fully in human flesh. The cross serves as the ladder of suffering and redemption, spanning sin's chasm. Jesus is the sole mediator and path to the Father. This can be seen in John chapter 14, verse 6. Patristic and medieval thinkers like Origen, Gregory of Nyssa, John Climacus developed this into a spiritual ascent. The ladder rungs symbolize virtues, prayers, sacraments, sanctification, leading towards union with God or deification of humanity. In a broader implication, in Christian cosmology, the ladder forms the enduring architecture of creation. Angels' movement reflects constant exchange, grace flowing down, worship and praise rising up. This vertical dynamic shapes liturgy. For example, incense ascending, blessings descending. Church architecture, elevated altars, heavenly domes, and personal devotion ascend through repentance and contemplation. The vision assures God's nearness amid chaos. Even in exile or failure, heaven touches the earth. Jacob's stone pillow becomes a sacred pillar where the invisible enters the visible. Today, amid disorientation, Jacob's ladder calls for recovering this upward gaze, not to flee earth, but to perceive it rightly ordered from above, with Christ as the living ladder who unites and heals all things. While discussing this subject, I would like to bring in the Cosmotheandric reality, which is basically proclaimed or pronounced by Panika. The Cosmotheandric reality of Jacob's ladder can be seen as follows. Jacob's ladder perfectly embodies the Cosmotheandric intuition, the indivisible unity and interplay of the divine, Theos, the human, Anthropos, and cosmos, cosmic. Instead of viewing reality as fragmented, Jacob's ladder reveals a deeply integrated triad. Theos, the divine, God holds the ultimate initiative, descending with grace, revelation, and covenant promise to close the gap between the transcendent and the mundane. Anthropos, the human, embodied by flawed fugitive Jacob, humanity actively participates in the dynamic through the reciprocal spiritual ascent of virtue, repentance, and prayer. And finally, the cosmos, the world. Universe is not flat, secular void. The ladder constitutes the very architecture of creation, where physical matter, like simple stone pillow, is transfigured into a sacred pillar, infusing the visible world with heavenly harmony. Ultimately, Christ as a living ladder serves as the ultimate cosmotheandric focal point. In him, divine nature, human flesh, and the material cosmos are seamlessly woven together, uniting, healing, and rightly ordering the entire fabric of reality. This is the thought I wanted to leave with you in this video. The unity of the heavenly realm with the earthly realm through the human body can be seen or can be seen as being realized in the life of Christ, which there for us to emulate.